Audible? Good morning, shall we? Yes. Am I audible to the people who are online in the YouTube? Fine, we will go on with respect to the introduction part. First and foremost, the question that comes to the elephant in the room, results, right? I expected honestly the results to be in the month of January. That's where I expected it. But it's not, no, UPSC is always unpredictable. The results have been delayed. And I felt like we can't wait till the results to be published. Because civil service exam interview is getting over in the month of February end. And what if there is no dire need, they have to start the forest service interview in the March. But what if they announce the results in the February mid and then say that we will start the interview in the March 1st? Then it will be too hectic for the students to prepare on that part. So I thought, like, let's start preparing from the initial time period. So that's the idea that we put across. Okay. So we will go on today's orientation. We'll focus on parts like how to prepare for forest service interview and what Vajiram will be able to provide, what I will be able to provide through Vajiram and Ravi with respect to it. That's what we are going to discuss on this part. Are we comfortable? Any doubts? Shall I move? Is it comfortable with people who are online? Am I audible? YouTube? Just an yes or no will do good from the people of online. Yes, great. So start with respect to preparation, and all you do know where the forest service preparation is slightly technical in manner. There's going to be a difference from the civil service preparation, right? So because of its technical nature of the service, you will be able to see that only people with science background will be allowed to appear on the examination, number one. Number two, only people with certain technical skills like height of 150 centimeter for male, 140 for a female is a mandatory requirement. Number two, if anybody has color blindness, then it is a defining criteria for the eligibility part also, right? Those two are being taken into consideration. Why I repeat it again, every single time I see people with forest service preparation in the prelims times and mains times itself, they'll say, if you are colorblind, then there is a catch in the entire part, in the eligibility, so that someone doesn't have to go through the entire process and suffer at the late. Because I had a very bad experience in 2016. One of my students got into service, but had a color blind, was not able to enter into the service. So since 2016, for the last 10 years, I always say that color blindness is a defining criteria. Using a spectacles is not a defining criteria. You can use a spectacle, 6/6 colored vision is acceptable, number one. Number two, if some of you add spectacles and you did LASIK surgeries, no need to worry about it, that is also accepted, right? We had a precedence of it. A good friend of mine has done LASIK, and then as in 2012 had certain discussions or like time period, and after that they amended it and said LASIK is accepted with respect to it. So no need to worry. If you have a power like 0.51 but not getting used to the spectacles of it and you're reading without spectacles, day on the medical alone, put a spectacle and go there. That's my suggestion with respect to it. And for forest service, medicals are conducted after the results, final results, right? One. And do not worry about medical and walking test for now, just focus on the preparation part. That's my idea, right? So leaving the eligibility criteria, we'll start with respect to 3 parts of your preparation. Anything that you do, there is a detailed application form you will be filling. So once the interview mains results has been published, right? Again, you will have a provision to edit the detailed application form. So before you submit the detailed application form, please share the detailed application form. We will discuss about it each and individually, and then we will correct it and then you submit, right? They have access to both the form 1 and the amended form 2. I don't think this will continue for a longer period of time, right? Because yesterday's notification makes it much more different in terms of procedure, but this year they will not change the procedure, I believe so, right? So first and foremost, when the detailed application form is open, before you submit, send it to me, right? We will sit. That time also we will do how to an orientation at the time, how to fill the detailed application form, what and all can be included and what not to be included, and individually do corrections with respect to it, number one. Second, in UPSC interview, like any UPSC interview, they can ask you any questions on multiple aspects from polity, history, geography, international relations, general. So there is one part towards it. right? And in CSE interview, you do have 5 members, whereas IFoS interview, there are only 4 members. So the one of the member will also be less. And out of 4 members, usually 1 or 2 members ask about the forest aspects. Other 2 persons there, chairperson or the member, will ask about generally anything and everything with respect. So you have to read general part also, anything and everything part. So you have to prepare on that aspect as well. Are we comfortable? Right? And hope you will be comfortable with respect to the preparation on the detailed application form. So I'm not stepping into that for the time constraints, right? But anything that you have mentioned in the detailed application form, from your name to the area of interest, hobby, prepare on that part, your state, your district, your graduation, that has to be done. Especially the graduation part is being tested much here also, right? Shall I move further? When it comes to specific preparation on the forest service, there are 3 major areas that has to be prepared. One is about the forest. Second will be on the environment part. Third is about the climate change part. 3 departments and 3 parts. I'm saying this by the reverse engineering of all these years of interview questions, however the questions has been done with respect to it, right? So we'll go one after the other. When it comes to forest, let's assume someone is from a state of Madhya Pradesh. Let's say someone is from the state part of Jabalpur regions, right? So start with respect to your own district first, right? Within the district, identify what is the forest resource that is being present. Take the data for the forest resource. What are the forest resources? Identify the data. Don't go and dwell into every single data possible with respect to it. Just know what is the forest area, what is the forest percentage, what are the forest types that is available in the regions, right? Any unique forest types, if it is present or not, right? And what is the flora and what is the fauna? Comfortable? So basically, Jabalpur, if you are taking, or any district that you come from, read about it. Then any national park is available, any wildlife sanctuary is available, any zoological park is available, any unique flora is available, any unique fauna is available, right? So read about the Jabalpur. Then go on to Madhya Pradesh. If I am preparing, I will prepare more on Jabalpur and Madhya Pradesh to the core. My own district and my own state should be very thoroughly done. Moving on to the next part will be the nation, India, right? Here you should have a larger picture of it, not at the micro level. You don't have to read granular informations. But Jabalpur, I will read about the granular information. Whatever the district I come from, I will read about the granular information. People always ask, do you have to read state of forest report? Yes. But you don't have to memorize every single state of forest report. You don't have to read every single state of forest report. First read the introduction, summary, and the first few chapters. After that, straight away move on to your own state. Okay. Within your state also, they will be giving like 16 major forest types. Subtypes will be 256 forest types will be there. Some types will be available in your state. They will give data, percentage, change, composition changes, multiple numbers will be there. Don't dwell all these detail into it. Just look into what is the forest cover, what is the forest percentage, what are the forest types, and what is the change of this forest report compared to the earlier forest report, right? So you'll have a clear picture over variations will be done with respect to it. Comfortable on this part? Shall I move further? Right? Then you will have to look into every single possibility of schemes, measures taken by the government of India and the government of your state. Schemes and measures taken by the government of India and the government of your state. So that starts from the very basic. What is the forest cover of the state? Is there any target available for Madhya Pradesh to increase the forest cover? Usually Madhya Pradesh like states has more forest cover. But if I go into Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, amount of forest cover will be less. So there is a target issued by the state. We want to achieve 12%. We want to achieve 15%, 17%. And what is the year? Then the follow-up questions will be like, is it possible to achieve? How you can achieve in Uttar Pradesh despite this population? So don't look it as a factual information, as a follow-up of questions. Build it as a narrative. Think it as a governance angle and implementation angle. That has to be done. Schemes of the state and schemes of the country as well. And any major issue has been there in the state. For example, if you come from Telangana, last year we had an Hyderabad court case where we discussed about with respect to cutting of trees in the Hyderabad regions, and that went on to court case. You'll have to know about it. If you come from Delhi, Delhi Ridge had a court case with respect to it, right? So if you come from Uttarakhand, the history of Uttarakhand has multiples of Dehradun, the limestone quarry, and the court cases will be there. So if you come from Gujarat, there is a cutting of mangroves in the Kutch regions. There is a pollution in the Bhavnagar regions of Alang, right? If you come from Kerala, the Silver Line project will be the case. So whatever the state you come from, know some issues will be there, and that would have reached the newspapers in the past or present. If you come from Maharashtra, my question will be like, Array Forest, couple of years back, there is an issue that happened with this. People protested. Bangalore people protested, right, against cutting of trees. So don't only see it from the forest angle. The forest, apart from the forest, trees in the cities will be there. So that might have created an issue with respect to it. Look into that particular part. Are we comfortable? Right? Apart from this, you will have to know laws, legislation, rules, acts, policies. Right? What we will do for this part is like, I will have number of classes. I will teach you with respect to laws, acts, and policies. During the times of mains also, I taught you laws, acts, and policies, but that is only for the mains answer writing. Now, what will I do with respect to interview is like, take one provision of the act and see that how this provision can be used. Directly, UPSC never has asked about these provisions in the interview, but they will give you a situation-based question. If this situation happens, let's say that one peacock has been injured, someone got the peacock, what will you be able to do with respect to it, right? Always remember, in an interview, you cannot speak your wish and will, right? You can speak based upon procedure established by law. So when you know the laws, acts, and provisions of the country, you can say that Section 9 of our Wildlife Conservation Act provides me these provisions, so I will be able to take this presentation, right? So these classes will not directly help you to answer what is Section 9. UPSC is not going to ask. UPSC will throw you a situation, and you will be able to answer from the provisions. And we'll also speak about policies, national forest policies, and we'll speak about forest administration. So I will take multiple case examples, the examples from my working space. I worked as a forest service officer in the state of Tamil Nadu. So my experiences, my friends' experiences, my colleagues, my students. So we'll take cases and we'll throw it as it. And we'll also have sessions like whatever the PYQs of opinion-based questions is being asked, how to answer the questions with respect to. This is what we will be doing with respect. So this part, you don't have to dwell and go into it, right? We will announce the classes in the portal section, right? So I think they have opened the admission form with respect to it, right? And we will announce you through the portal when the classes will be conducted with respect to it, and then we'll start. We'll start first with respect to Supreme Court intervention. We'll start first with respect to Godavarman case versus Union of India. You have to understand that case to understand Indian forest laws, right? So I have to go at least 4 or 5 classes to go on with respect to Godavarman, then National Forest Policies, then Wildlife Act, then Indian Forest Act. Then after finishing all these provisions, we will be able to have a clear picture. In between also, we'll say that how this transformation happened, what it made, what will you do with respect to provision. So this part you can leave it, right? Because it's going to be uniform. But this part is going to be specific to your state, specific to your district, specific to the regions. You'll have to have a picture. You also have to read about, despite, let's say that you come from Kerala, that doesn't mean you can't read about the recent issue of, leave the recent issue of Aravalli. You have to know the Aravalli issue. You have to know Ganga pollution. You have to know with respect to cutting of trees in Himalayan regions. Or last year when the flood happened in Kashmir, we saw that large number of wooden logs were floating on the dam. So filling in the Jammu and Kashmir. Projects in Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep. So you should have a very clear picture of major problems across the country, right? So beyond the issues of your state, step and read about the major problems of the entire country with respect to it. Any doubts till now? Shall I proceed further? Yes. Then we come back to the second part, which is environment. And the way the questions have been asked about environment is like, people go with respect to environmental issues and solution, but question starts always with respect to something called definition or what. And suddenly people in the interview, they get taken back. The question would be simple. I'm not joking. There was a student who spoke to me after the interview. The UPSC has asked, what is ecosystem management? And the student was not able to frame a words. And the student said, management of ecosystem. And the board laughed at him, right? You can't change the words and put across. So always remember, when it comes to environment, the basics you will have to go back. So whatever that you have studied for your prelims, or whatever you will be studying for your prelims now, right? This will one way help you with respect to studying for it. So know the terminologies, definitions with respect to it. After that, there are something called environmental issues. Forest issues are different environment. We are speaking here as pollution. We are speaking about, if you are coming from Delhi, landfill is a major problem with respect to Delhi. Air pollution is a major problem with respect to it. Ammonia pollution is a major problem in Delhi regions. So you should understand what is your environmental problem, right? And you have to find it with respect to it. And for that, pick solution. The solutions can be also targeted in multiple ways. What is the existing measure that is being taken? Just know the existing measure, because some of the times people go to the interview and answer only the existing measure. The board replies back saying that this has already been available, tell me new. So don't create such scenarios of a resentment with the board, right? So know what is existing measure. And if the existing measure did not fulfill the, what is the problem in the existing measure? And how you can do solution to the existing measure. Comfortable? Shall I proceed further? So existing measure is available, and within the existing measure, how can I solve the problem and how to bring the solution towards the region as well. Second thing, what we will do is like, what other technological solution I can take, right? Using technologies of present day, whatever may be your graduation, think about it. And then solution from your graduation, if it is possible. If you are an electronics engineer, can I use sensors to control the pollution of Ganga? Think it in aspects like that. If you are a material science engineer, if you are a biochemistry person, think in terms of BOD, COD with respect to it. What is polymer? How can I change with respect to it? So one is technological solutions, another one is something picking from your graduation. Not always your graduation will have solution, but if at all it has it, take it, right? So you will be able to know the existing problems towards it, solutions towards it, and then technological solutions and graduation solutions. This will be done with respect to it. Any doubts till now? Shall I move further? Right? The third part would be climate change. Again, read basics in every aspect. Facts also you'll have to remember. What is the contribution of greenhouse gases in terms of what are the types of greenhouse gases? Why carbon is always considered? What are the list of greenhouse gases? What is each contribution percentage? What is global warming potential? A range in the global warming potential. So they can throw you with respect to factual based questions also, conceptual based question also. Our questions like why it is 1.5 degrees Celsius? Why are we speaking about 1.5? Why can't it be 1.4, 1.7? So questions can be generated to check how you manage with respect to it. Then once you complete the basics, then you do know there is an issue of climate change and requires a solution, and we don't have a direct solution. So we do something called UNFCCC's factors. We do government of India's measures will be there. Apart from that, we do have non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations, non-UN organizations. Apart from UNFCCC, there are private international organizations who are working on it. In this, you will be able to look into last year UNFCCC, what are the new things that they brought in, right? If you are an electrical engineer, I might be interested to know why India is not accepting the coal phase out, but going on to coal phase down, right? So you'll have to look into those aspects as well, whatever the terminologies that has been available. What is loss and damage? Year after year, I see people come there, and if it has been asked about UNFCCC, they will speak good about what are the measures that has been taken by loss and damage and all. But if a question is asked, what is loss, what is damage, people suffer. So just know, if I say loss and damage, you should know what is loss. There is a definition for what is loss. There is what is damage. If we say carbon credit, what is carbon credit? What is a unit? So also do know the very basics of it, right? And any measures that has been taken, know the measures. What is the measure doing? Why there has been a resentment? Last year, we had a huge newspaper articles discussed with respect to when it happened. If I'm not wrong, in one of the Gulf countries, UNFCCC COP happened with respect to it, and I'm unable to remember Saudi Arabia, some other place it happened with respect to it. And the energy minister is the convener for the particular COP. And the international world criticized, saying that you are allowing the oil-rich country and the energy minister to convene with respect to COP, which is to reduce the fossil fuel consumption. How will it go on with respect to it? These can set narratives as a questions for the interview. So it's not only theory part, you have to understand the discussion part, right? I just wanted to converse with you, as simple as that. Comfortable on this part? So this is with respect to climate change. Apart from that, when we go on to environment, there is something called ocean acidification, ozone depletion, acid rain will be there, marine heat wave will be there, coral bleaching will be there. All this you studied for your preliminary and means, you will have to revise the part. And also look at what India is doing, what measures has been there, what we have completed with respect to it. These three areas can go on with respect to the part, right? Are we comfortable with respect to it? Any doubts on this part? This is going to be the core idea of entire one member or two member asking the questions. But easily other two member can ask you any questions. That can be like, who is your favorite comedian can also be a question to be asked, or which leader you like, what is the book you read, something completely unrelated to you, so that they wanted to check how you act to that particular part. Any doubts on this? Online, YouTube, please drop messages if you have any doubts. Any doubts from here? Comfortable, right? So what we will do with from Vajiram is like, I will be handling classes. The classes will go on with respect to forest laws and legislation. First, I will start with respect to Supreme Court role in forest administration. Start with Godavarman case, and then we'll go on to laws and legislation. We'll speak about Wildlife Protection Act, Forest Rights Act, Biodiversity Act. We'll speak about Indian Forest Act, multiples of acts, but in a way that how to use these provisions if it is asked as a questions. We will change it to real life scenarios and situations with respect to it, right? So this we will cover at least some 6 to 8 classes will go on with respect to it, based upon again when the interview is going to come. The interview comes very quicker, then I have to put it every day and rush it on and finish it off. If not, we'll go aram say with respect to the classes. Any doubts, right? And apart from that, what we will also provide is there is a one-to-one interview will be there, where we will be doing online and offline also. So offline will be done in Delhi, right? If somebody is not able to come, or one day before alone you are coming before the, let's say you are from Arunachal Pradesh, you come one day before the interview, take the online. But I always prefer offline for one reason, because in online, two problem comes. One is disruption in the network. So sometimes what you speak, I don't listen. So I will not be able to suggest you one. Second thing with respect to the problem is like the attire, the gesture, nothing will be there. You don't feel the hot seat will be the not problem. Apart from the one-to-one, Vajiram will conduct mock interviews. The mock interview will not be a CSE panel. The mock interview will be a Forest Service panel. So all these years we have conducted only the Forest Service panels, where there will be an exclusive 1 or 2 Forest Service officers will be there, and the rest of the people will be a civil service officers, IAS and IPS officers will be there. This will be doing with respect to it, right? Is there anything else you like, or any questions you do have, we will discuss. This is the in preparation part. And on the graduation part, always prepare in a holistic manner. Couple of questions that is always asked is, how is your graduation applicable in forestry? You can be an aeronautical engineer, but my question will be, how will you apply aeronautics in forestry, right? So you'll have to think on that aspect. And questions like, why forestry? Because everybody of you, at most 99% of the people came here for civil service preparation, right? UPSC also knows that. A very minimal percentage of people wants exclusively with respect to forest service. That will be 5 to 10% in a year, not more than that, right? So you will think about why forestry and goes on. And whatever the option that you have taken, questions can come from the option also, right? So if you have taken forestry as an optional, forestry based questions can be asked. If you have taken geology as an option, geology based questions can also be asked with respect to it, right? So forestry based questions we will cover with respect to the administration laws and all those things. And another part we will cover is with respect to your forestry, you will have to revise things. I will tell you what are the topics to revise also. So no need to worry on that part. But whatever the second option, we will put it across. We teach forestry and geology in Vajiram and Ravi, so geology can also be handled. I might request the faculty if he can step and speak about what kind of questions geology can ask and how to frame. That can be done with respect to it. But this I will have to check the availability. Forestry will be for sure. So any doubts? You have to ask me something. Nothing? I don't want to waste the time. If you have doubts, we'll take it forward, or else you can go back. You have prelims. I do not know how many of you have civil service interview, and this forest service interview also been there. And to be honest, no idea when the results will come. I expected the results in Jan. at least the results, if the interview has to conducted in March, the results has to come in the first week of February, at least before the 10th of February, if they have to conduct it in March. But they have March, April, May. Unlike the last time, there is no rush for them to conduct with respect to it. They can aram se conduct it in March. They can aram se conduct it in April as well. So there is no rush. They can do it anytime. But if they conduct it in March, we should not feel we are left out. So we can start preparing. I understand the other side of the coin also. Some people will be like, I do not know whether means will clear or not, whether I should start preparing or not is a question that will always be there. So I'll give you two choices till the results comes with respect to it, right? One, we will start the classes. You can listen to the classes and make notes of it. One. Second thing is the environment part, climate change part, and forest part. Whatever which will help you in the preliminary examination, you keep studying with respect to it. You make quick revision on that part so that you will not feel like you have deviated from the preliminary. I want all of you to clear the mains and go to the interview. That's my wish with respect to it. But sometimes people will feel like, hey, there is preliminary, I'm studying for interview. So we will club the things. We'll club whatever that appears in both interview and the civil service preliminary, we'll write on this particular thing. Any doubts? Akka? Online people? The people in YouTube? Any doubts? No? So to conclude, there will be a link that will be available in the Vajiram and Ravi's website. Join the link so that information will be sent through portal with respect to it. I just wanted the session to be 1 hour so that we'll address the questions. If there is no questions, then we will go on to conclusion. Can you please note down mains current affairs topics need to be prepared thoroughly? Mains current affairs topics. No, this one is not for current affairs. This one is Indian Forest Service interview. So I don't get your question. Krishnakant, yes, I read your message. We'll discuss about it. Sir, any DAF related questions? Relating the DAF, we will do one particular thing, which is DAF part. Before you submit the DAF part, send the DAF part. And when the mains results comes, let me correct myself. When the mains results comes, we will do one session, how to fill the DAF, how to fill the CADAS, what are the benefits and all those things. And there is no requirement, you have to fill something related to environment in your hobby section. It was a very misguided opinion which is present in the market. And year after year, I see this. In the first time when they fill for the mains, no, they will write it as watching environmental documentaries and wildlife documentaries. And when the results comes, because they will be like, I will watch, that idea will be there. They will write civil service mains, they'll write forest service mains, they will take a break, results will come. And before filling it, they will come and say, sir, I have not watched any documentary, sir, what will I do? Then the best thing is to remove. And they have both the DAF. So there are questions asked in UPSC interview. In first DAF, you have mentioned wildlife documentary. Within 2 months, you have not removed it. Have you stopped the hobby? There are questions like this. Then we will be stuck in a position like how to manage these things, right? That has been done. So there is no mandatory conditions. You have to mention anything related to environment, anything related to forest and climate change. But if you follow something, but if you have prepared something, do mention. That's the case, right? And when you fill the DAF, I want you one thing from you. I do not know you personally, right? You know you better than anything. So I want a sheet of paper where anything and everything you have done from your school to present now, right? Even if it is a very small prize that you have got, your college final year project that you have submitted, right? Write it and then send it to me through mail. So that if by any chance it has a relevance, let's say you are an electrical engineer, you have done something on renewable energy, it looks me to climate change. It seems me as energy transition, what the globe is speaking in terms of UNFCCC and reducing it. So we will discuss on the part, yes, we can include this, we'll remove this, the DAF things will. So we'll try to align more questions from the DAF to our own objective. But do not ever lie in the DAF. That's the most important part to be taken into consideration. And after you submit the DAF, we can do DAF analysis. Sit with the DAF and say that these areas, these kinds of questions can become, that we will do offline, it's not possible. We'll do online or over the phones or something like that. That can be done on that part. Any other? You had some question.
Newspaper, magazine, we follow.
See, newspaper, I would say that whatever the Hindu or Express you are reading, that will be sufficient with respect to it. You don't have to follow any other newspaper. But if you want to follow a magazine, Down to Earth is a good magazine, but pinch of salt, because Down to Earth writes in a way that it's a very, very beautiful magazine. I love the magazine, but what it will write is like, it will write two things. Some articles will be like what government is doing, good things, all this. But when the issues have been coming across, they are an environmentalist. So they do justice to their own ideology of being an environmentalist and saying that there is a problem, there is a problem, there is a problem, and there is a problem, right? But you are going to be a bureaucrat. You cannot go there and say problem, problem, problem. You have to identify problem from the down to earth, and then you have to find solution by yourself so that it will be a complete package will be there. Because I don't want someone who is pessimistic in the interview. I don't want someone who comes and says there are problems, there are problems. I want someone who says, yes, there are problems, but I am ready to work on the problem. I am here to try my best to address the problem. You can't give 100% solution, but we will work on the process part. So be down to earth, but understand problems can be identified from here, and you will have to prepare the solution part. Right? Any other questions? How to make notes of current affairs for mains examination, not for mains, means major topic. Are we, Aditya, we are speaking about forest service interview? This session is completely about forest service interview. So can we have to prepare current affairs separately? I'm skipping all the general questions which has been asked with respect to preliminary and mains for one particular reason. We can have sessions for how to prepare. Vajiram conducts sessions on multiple topics. You follow the Instagram page, there will be, I think some topics will be on preliminary, how to prepare, mains, how to prepare. You can attend this. This is only interview session. I don't want to waste the time of any mains written people. In specialist related to veterinary medicine available for interview preparation anywhere. Only for veterinary science, I don't think that such thing has been there. But a couple of our mock panel persons are from the forest service officers who are also from the veterinary science graduation. When you come for the panel, we can put you in touch with them. That's some things we can be able to make. And whatever the questions that has been asked in the veterinary science, you and me can discuss separately. That can be done. Right? Any doubts? So we'll end the session. Fine. We'll wait for the online to get it. Is there any questions from the online? And I would request you to follow the Instagram page and find relevant orientation programs for GS preliminary, GS mains, current affairs, mains writing part to have a very clear oriented program towards it. This program is completely oriented towards forest service mock interview. Right? Just wait for a minute before I end the session for the YouTube people to reply back. Then fine. No, wait. And this is my mail ID. Usually I give my phone number. People know me, but I found that this is YouTube live and larger section of population has been there. Right. So I give my mail ID. And if you are preparing for the forest service interview, drop a mail. I'll respond to you with respect to the phone numbers. And whatever the doubts you have, you don't have to mail me later with respect to forest service interviews. You can directly drop it to my WhatsApp. I don't understand Telegram. Again, people know me who knows that. So WhatsApp would be a fine place for me. Right? Karthi, FCRI@gmail.com. Karthi stands for my name and FCRI stands for Forest College Research Institute, which is my alma mater. Thank you. Thank you.